Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive.
Mm.
We love to explore these personalized forecasts, and today we're taking a look at the March 2025 forecast, specifically for all you air signs out there. So if you're a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, get ready for some fascinating insights. March is looking like quite a ride, from potential relationship shifts to some serious cosmic energy pushing you towards transformation. So let's get into it.
It really is amazing how the astrology this month is setting the stage for each of the air signs. We've got Mercury retrograde coming up, Venus and Aries, Mars, and Cancer, Saturn, and Pisces, and of course the big one, Pluto, continuing its journey through Aquarius. And all of these energies are going to be playing out in unique ways for Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius.
Okay, so much to unpack already. I'm feeling a mix of excitement and maybe a little bit of Mercury retrograde vibes.
Mm-hmm.
For those who might not be super familiar with all the astro lingo, can you give us a quick rundown of how these major transits will generally affect air signs?
Sure thing. So let's start with Mercury retrograde, which starts on March 9th and lasts until the 28th. And this time it's happening in both Aries and Pisces, which adds a little extra complexity to the mix. Now, during Mercury retrograde, we often see the usual suspects pop up: communication glitches, travel delays, technology hiccups, but it's also a really potent time for reflection review and maybe even reconnecting with people from your past.
Yeah, I've actually been trying to reframe Mercury retrograde as a time to slow down and reassess instead of just dreading it like it's this big bad thing. It's like the universe is hitting the pause button, giving us a chance to catch our breath and make sure we're on the right track.
Exactly. It's not necessarily about avoiding action completely, but being more mindful and intentional with the choices that we're making. And then in addition to Mercury retrograde, we have Venus, the planet of love and beauty, moving through fiery Aries from March 11th to April 5th. This is going to bring a surge of passion and a real go-getter attitude to relationships, especially for our air signs. Think sparks flying romantic adventures and a boldness in expressing what you desire. But remember, Aries energy can also be impulsive, so a little caution is advised, especially with Mercury retrograde happening at the same time.
Ooh, so it's like a cosmic dance between passion and patience. Follow your heart, but don't rush into anything too quickly. This makes me think about how this might play out differently for each sign. Will a Gemini's approach to love under Venus and Aries look different from a Libra's?
Absolutely. And that's where understanding the nuances of each sign's energy comes into play. For example, Geminis are known for their quick wit and adaptability, so they might be more inclined to embrace the spontaneous adventure side of Venus and Aries, whereas Libras, who value harmony and balance, might approach this energy with a bit more caution, trying to find that sweet spot between passion and commitment.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so we've got Mercury retrograde asking us to slow down Venus and Aries, firing up our love lives. What about Mars and Saturn? What flavors are they adding to the cosmic cocktail this month?
Well, Mars, the planet of action and energy, is hanging out in Cancer from March 3rd to April 20th. This transit is going to stir up our emotional waters, encouraging us to connect with our feelings and find a balance between logic and intuition. This might feel a little uncomfortable for air signs who tend to be more head over heart, but it's a valuable opportunity to explore your emotional depths and develop greater empathy in your relationships.
I can definitely see how that could be a challenge for air signs who pride themselves on their rationality and objectivity. It's like the universe is saying, hey, let's tap into those feelings you've been keeping bottled up.
Precisely. And then we have Saturn, the planet of discipline and responsibility, moving through dreamy Pisces. This transit is all about grounding your visions, setting realistic goals, and taking practical steps to manifest your dreams. It's a time for air signs to get organized, create a solid plan, and be willing to put in the work to achieve your aspirations.
It sounds like Saturn in Pisces is providing the structure and discipline to harness all that fiery energy from Venus and Aries and the emotional depth of Mars and Cancer. It's like a cosmic scaffolding to support our big dreams.
That's a great analogy. And speaking of big dreams, we can't forget about Pluto, the planet of transformation, which has been in Aquarius since early 2023 and will stay there for quite a while. This is a powerful transit that is pushing all of us, but especially Aquarius suns, moons, and risings to a profound personal evolution. It's like a cosmic excavation, unearthing hidden potential and propelling you towards your most authentic self.
Okay, Pluto in Aquarius for the long haul. That sounds intense, but also incredibly exciting. Makes me wonder how each air sign will experience this transformative energy in their own unique way. Before we dive into the specifics for each sign, can you tell us a bit more about what makes Pluto in Aquarius so significant, especially for those with strong Aquarius placements?
What's fascinating about Pluto in Aquarius is that it's shaking up the very foundations of our lives. It's challenging us to break free from outdated beliefs, structures, and patterns that no longer serve us, particularly in the areas of technology innovation, social justice, and our relationship with the collective. For Aquarians who are natural innovators and humanitarians, this transit is like a cosmic call to action, urging them to step into their power as agents of change and co-create a more equitable and sustainable future.
Wow, I'm getting chills. It's like we're all being called to participate in this grand cosmic evolution.
Okay.
I'm officially hooked. Now let's break this down for each air sign. First up, our quick-witted Geminis.
All right, Geminis, get ready for a ride. Remember Mercury retrograde? Well, as a Gemini, Mercury is your ruling planet, so you're going to feel its effects even more strongly. And specifically with Mercury retrograde happening in your 10th house of career, this is the time to revise your resume network and refine your skills. Avoid signing new contracts until after March 28th. Instead, focus on revisiting old projects, reconnecting with colleagues, and polishing your professional game plan.
So it's not necessarily about hitting the brakes on your career ambitions altogether, but rather using this time to strategize and make sure you're putting your best foot forward when Mercury goes direct.
Exactly. It's like a cosmic opportunity to do some spring cleaning in your professional life, clearing out any clutter and setting the stage for a fresh start.
I love that analogy. Okay, so career-wise, Geminis might want to hit the pause button for a bit. But what about love? Will Venus in Aries bring some springtime romance their way?
Yes, definitely. With Venus and Aries transiting your 11th house of friendships and social connections, expect sparks to fly in unexpected places. This could be a time for rekindling a friendship that turns romantic or connecting with someone new through your social circle. The key is to be open to new possibilities and not be afraid to put yourself out there. But remember, clear communication is key, especially with Mercury retrograde in the mix. Don't be afraid to speak your truth, Gemini, but choose your words wisely and be mindful of potential misunderstandings.
With good advice. Speak your truth, Geminis, but with kindness and tact. Now let's move on to health and spirituality. What do the stars have in store for Geminis in those areas?
With all this planetary activity, it's super important for Geminis to prioritize stress management and create space for inner reflection. The full moon in Virgo on March 14th will illuminate your 4th house of home and family, highlighting the need for emotional balance and a sense of grounding amidst the whirlwind of March's energy. This could be a time to nurture your inner world, connect with loved ones, or simply create a cozy sanctuary where you can recharge and reconnect with yourself.
Sounds like a recipe for a balanced and grounded month, despite the potential for Mercury retrograde mayhem. Now, before we move on to Libra, let's give Gemini some numerological insights for March.
Great idea. For Geminis born in 1982, 1991, 2000, and so on, you're in a personal year 5, which is all about embracing change, adventure, and new opportunities. Remember how we talked about Pluto in Aquarius shaking things up? Well, your personal year 5 energy is perfectly aligned with this cosmic shift, encouraging you to step outside your comfort zone and embrace the unknown. This energy is amplified by March's universal energy, which is a 3. A3 is all about creativity, self-expression, and socializing. So Geminis, this is your time to shine, connect with others, and let your creative juices flow.
Love it. March has sounded like a pretty exciting month for our Gemini friends, full of dynamic energy and opportunities for growth.
Absolutely. And to add a little extra magic to the mix, some key dates to watch for are March 5th, 14th, and 27th. These days hold particularly potent energy for manifestation and positive outcomes.
Okay, Geminis, you heard it here first. Take notes, mark your calendars, and get ready to make the most of this dynamic month. Now let's shift our focus to the harmonious and relationship-oriented Libras. What does March have in store for them?
Libras, get ready to level up, especially when it comes to your long-term goals and aspirations. Saturn, the planet of discipline and responsibility, is currently transiting your 6th house of work, health, and daily routines, pushing you to create more structure and efficiency in these areas. This might feel a bit restrictive at first, but it's ultimately about creating a solid foundation for success.
Ooh, Saturn in the 6th house. It sounds like a cosmic boot camp for self-improvement. But Libras are known for their love of balance and harmony. How does this intense goal-oriented energy play out in their relationships?
That's where things get really interesting. Venus in Aries is transiting your 7th house of partnerships, which on the surface sounds amazing, right? Passion, excitement, new beginnings. Yeah. But here's the catch. Venus in Aries is squaring Saturn in Pisces, creating a tension between your desire for freedom and your need for stability in relationships. This could manifest as a push and pull between pursuing your individual goals and nurturing your partnerships.
Okay, so some navigating might be required for Libras this month. It sounds like a delicate dance between honoring your own needs and those of your significant other.
Exactly. This is a time for honest self-reflection and open communication with your loved ones. The full moon in Virgo on March 14th, which falls in your 12th house of spirituality and subconscious patterns, will further illuminate any hidden dynamics or unresolved issues that need to be addressed.
So some big decisions might be on the horizon for Libras this month. It sounds like a time for setting boundaries, making choices, and really honoring what your heart truly desires. What about the influence of Pluto in Aquarius? How does that play into the Libra experience this month?
Pluto in Aquarius is currently transiting your 5th house of creativity, romance, and self-expression, encouraging you to tap into your inner child and embrace your playful side. This might manifest as a renewed interest in hobbies, a desire to take creative risks, or simply a willingness to let loose and have more fun.
I love that. It sounds like a reminder for Libras to not take themselves too seriously and allow themselves to experience joy and playfulness.
Exactly. And remember, even though Pluto's influence might be more subtle for Libras this month, it's still a powerful force for transformation, encouraging you to shed any limiting beliefs or outdated patterns that are holding you back from expressing your authentic self.
Fascinating. Pluto's transformative energy is definitely shaking things up for everyone. But how about we add a little numerology magic to the mix? What's the numerological forecast for Libras this month?
Libras born in 1981, 1999, and so on, you're in a personal year 7, which is all about introspection, spiritual growth, and seeking deeper meaning in life. This resonates beautifully with the energy of Saturn in Pisces, encouraging you to connect with your inner wisdom and trust your intuition as you navigate the challenges and opportunities of March's universal energy of 3, while encouraging social connection and creative expression also emphasizes the need for Libras to be mindful of their energy and prioritize self-care.
Okay, Libras, prioritize you this month. Don't be afraid to say no to social engagements that drain your energy, and instead carve out some quiet time for reflection and recharge. What are some key dates Libras should circle on their calendars this month?
For Libras, March 6th, 16th, and 28th are looking like especially favorable days for making important decisions, having heart-to-heart conversations, or simply enjoying some well-deserved me time.
All right, Libras, let's raise a glass to a month filled with clarity, growth, and maybe some well-deserved me time. Now, are you ready to dive into Aquarius's forecast? This is where things get really interesting.
Oh, absolutely. Aquarius, as I mentioned earlier, Pluto is in your sign and it's here to stay for a while. This is a once-in-a-lifetime transit that brings profound transformation to every area of your life, and March is going to be a pivotal month in this journey.
Whoa, a once-in-a-lifetime transit.
Yeah.
Okay, Aquarians, you've officially won the cosmic lottery. What kind of transformation are we talking about here?
Imagine a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly. That's the level of metamorphosis we're talking about with Pluto in your sign. It's all about embracing your authentic self, shedding old layers, and stepping into your power. This might feel intense at times, but it's ultimately a process of empowerment and liberation.
Sounds like a wild and wonderful ride. So should Aquarians expect a complete life overhaul this month?
Well, it's a gradual process, not an overnight transformation. But you might experience significant shifts in your career relationships and overall sense of self. This is especially true in the realm of your career. Pluto in Aquarius is urging you to take charge, step into leadership roles, and pursue work that truly aligns with your passions.
Ooh, that's inspiring. So Aquarians, channel your inner boss this month. What about love? Will Venus and Aries bring some romantic fireworks their way?
Love is definitely in the air for Aquarians, but it comes with a word of caution. Venus in Aries is transiting your 3rd house of communication, short trips, and siblings, so expect a lot of mental stimulation and playful banter in your romantic interactions. This could be a time for flirty text exchanges, spontaneous dates, or reconnecting with someone from your past. However, with Mercury Retrograde also influencing this area of your chart, it's important to avoid jumping into anything too quickly. Take your time, get to know the person, and trust your instincts.
Sage advice. Sometimes slow and steady wins the race, especially matters of the heart. Now, what about health and spirituality for Aquarians this month? What should they prioritize?
Balance is key, Aquarius. With all this transformative energy swirling around you, it's crucial to avoid burnout. Make sure you're getting enough rest, eating nourishing foods, and finding healthy ways to manage stress. The new moon in Aries on March 29th falls in your 3rd house, offering a beautiful opportunity to set fresh intentions related to your communication style, learning new skills, or expanding your social circle. Use this energy to commit to expressing yourself more authentically, exploring a new subject that interests you, or simply connecting with new people who inspire you.
Love it. New adventures in communication and self-expression. All right, before we wrap up Aquarius's forecast, let's sprinkle in some numerological insights.
For Aquarians born in 1980, 1989, 1998, and so on, you're in a personal year 9. This is a year of endings, transitions, and emotional growth. It's a time for letting go of what no longer serves you, tying up loose ends and preparing for a new chapter in your life. This energy blends perfectly with Pluto's transformative influence and encourages you to embrace the changes that are unfolding, even if they feel challenging at times.
Wow, so Aquarians are really going through it this month in the best possible way. Of course, endings can be bittersweet, but they also pave the way for new beginnings. And remember, March's universal energy of 3 amplifies communication and creative expression, giving Aquarians an extra boost of confidence and clarity as they navigate these powerful shifts.
Exactly. So Aquarians, use your voice, share your gifts, and let your creativity be a guiding force as you navigate these powerful shifts.
All right, Aquarians, you've got a lot to process this month. What are some key dates to add to your cosmic calendar?
Keep an eye out for March 4th, 11th, and 21st, as those dates hold particularly favorable energy for breakthroughs, insights, and opportunities for growth.
Okay, Aquarians, take a deep breath. Embrace the transformation, and remember you've got this. We've covered a lot of ground here in part 1 of our deep dive. From Mercury retrograde to Pluto's influence to those key dates to watch for, it's clear that March is going to be a month of both challenges and opportunities for our air signs.
Absolutely. And as we move into part 2, we'll explore some practical tips for navigating the energy of March and making the most of these cosmic opportunities. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the March 2025 air sign astrology and numerology forecast. We explored the major cosmic players influencing the month ahead. And now so curious to get into the nitty-gritty. What are some practical tips for navigating this dynamic energy and making the most of these cosmic opportunities? You're really putting all this astral wisdom into action.
It really is all about working with that energy, not against it. And, let's start with Mercury retrograde, which, as we know, can bring communication challenges and unexpected delays. One of the best things you can do during this time is to slow down, double-check your work, and try to avoid making any huge decisions if possible, especially, those big life-altering decisions that can wait till after the 28th.
So no impulsive online shopping sprees or signing any contracts without reading the fine print.
Exactly. Maybe hold off on that new car purchase or booking a non-refundable trip. If you must sign something important, read it super carefully. Ask a ton of questions and get absolutely everything in writing. And when it comes to communication, be really mindful of how you're expressing yourself. Choose your words carefully, listen attentively, and don't be afraid to clarify any misunderstandings. This is especially important for our Gemini friends. Since Mercury is their ruling planet, they're likely to feel the effects of the retrograde even more intensely than others.
Good point. It's like putting on your cosmic safety gear before venturing out into the Mercury retrograde storm.
Yeah.
Now, what about Pluto in Aquarius? Any tips for navigating this intense transformative energy, particularly for our Aquarian listeners who are feeling it most directly?
Pluto's energy is all about digging deep, uncovering hidden truths, and shedding those old patterns that no longer serve us. So for Aquarians, this means being really open to a deep dive into your psyche, confronting any shadow aspects of yourself that might be holding you back, and embracing the process of becoming your most authentic self.
That sounds like a so powerful but potentially challenging journey. What are some ways Aquarians can support themselves during this process?
This is where self-care becomes absolutely crucial. Make sure you're getting enough rest, eating nourishing foods, and finding those healthy ways to manage stress. Meditation, spending time in nature, or even engaging in those creative activities can be so grounding and restorative during this time. And remember, you don't have to go through this alone. Seek support from trusted friends, therapists, or mentors who can offer guidance and encouragement along the way.
Those are great reminders. It's easy to forget about self-care when we're caught up in the whirlwind of life. Now, what about some tips for harnessing the passionate energy of Venus and Aries? This seems like a great opportunity for our air signs who are single and ready to mingle.
Venus in Aries is all about bold moves and direct communication. So if you are attracted to someone, don't be afraid to make the first move. Be confident, express your interest, and see where it leads. This energy is particularly potent for Libras, as Venus is transiting their 7th house of partnerships.
So if a Libra has been eyeing someone special, this is the time to take a chance and make a move. What about those who are already in relationships? How can they harness this energy?
For those who are already coupled up, this is a fantastic time to inject some passion and excitement into the relationship. Try something new together, plan a romantic getaway, or simply make an effort to reconnect on a deeper level. Remember, Venus in Aries is all about keeping that spark alive. Geminis with Venus transiting their 11th house of friendships and social connections might find that their romantic connections blossom out of shared interests or group activities.
Ooh, a lot of Venus in Aries is definitely bringing the heat this month. But let's not forget about Mars in Cancer. How can air signs balance that fiery energy with the emotional intensity of Mars in Cancer? Especially since, air signs tend to be more intellectual and less outwardly emotional.
That's a great point. While Venus in Aries encourages boldness and assertiveness, Mars in Cancer reminds us to be mindful of our emotions and the emotions of others. It's about finding a balance between action and sensitivity. This might involve taking some time for self-reflection, practicing empathy in your interactions, and being mindful of your energy levels.
It's like learning to speak the language of both the head and the heart. This resonates with what we were talking about earlier with Geminis experiencing Mercury retrograde in their 10th house of career. They might be feeling pulled in these different directions, wanting to charge ahead with their ambitions, but also needing to slow down and be more introspective. How can they find that balance?
For Geminis, the key is to find those healthy outlets for their mental energy. Journaling, creative writing, or even just having open and honest conversations with trusted friends can help them process their thoughts and emotions and gain clarity on their next steps. Remember, Geminis are natural communicators, so don't be afraid to reach out for support during this time.
So it's all about finding that sweet spot between, following your heart and being mindful of your emotional well-being.
Yeah.
And speaking of emotional well-being, let's talk about numerology. We discussed personal year numbers for each sign, but how can listeners apply those insights practically in their lives? I mean, it's one thing to know you're in a personal year 5, but what does that actually look like in day-to-day life?
That's a great question. Understanding your personal year number can provide such valuable guidance for making decisions and setting intentions. For example, if you're in a personal year 5, like our Gemini listeners, it's a time for embracing change and adventure. This could mean anything from taking a spontaneous trip to starting a new hobby to making a major career shift. The key is to be open to new experiences and step outside your comfort zone.
So if a Gemini has been thinking about switching careers or going back to school, this might be the perfect time to just go for it.
Yeah, exactly. The energy of a personal year 5 supports those kinds of bold moves. And for Libras in a personal year 7, it's a time for introspection, spiritual growth, and seeking deeper meaning. This could involve exploring your spirituality, deepening your connection with yourself, or simply spending more time in nature.
It's like having this cosmic roadmap guiding us towards our highest potential, but we still have the free will to choose our own path.
Absolutely. And for Aquarians in a personal year 9, it's a time of endings and transitions, preparing for a new chapter. This is a time to let go of what no longer serves you, complete unfinished business, and make space for new beginnings. This might feel a bit melancholic at times, but it's ultimately a very liberating and empowering process.
Wow, so much wisdom packed into those personal year numbers.
No.
Now, before we move on to specific rituals and practices for harnessing March's energy, I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier about Pluto in Aquarius being this generational transit that affects everyone, not just Aquarians. Can you elaborate on that a bit more?
Absolutely. Pluto's transits are known for their transformative power, and when Pluto enters a new sign, it brings about significant shifts in society as a whole. Pluto in Aquarius, which began in early 2023, is ushering in a period of radical change, particularly in areas related to technology innovation, social structures, and collective consciousness.
Ooh, that sounds both exciting and a little intimidating.
It's definitely a time of great upheaval, but also a time of immense potential. Pluto in Aquarius is pushing us to question the status quo, break free from those outdated systems, and create a more equitable and sustainable future. We're already seeing this energy play out in movements for social justice, advancements in technology, and a growing awareness of our interconnectedness.
So it's like this collective awakening urging us to step up and be the change we want to see in the world. And even though Pluto's in Aquarius, it's influencing all of us in some way, prompting us to examine our own roles in this larger transformation.
Precisely. And that's where things get really interesting, because even though we're talking about air signs specifically in this deep dive, the themes of transformation, innovation, and collective consciousness are relevant to everyone regardless of their sun sign.
I love that. It reminds us that we're all interconnected and that the choices we make both individually and collectively have the power to shape the future. This has been incredibly insightful. We've covered so much ground in this episode, from Mercury retrograde tips to Pluto's generational influence to those personal year numbers that can guide our personal growth.
And in part 3, we'll dive into some specific practices and rituals you can incorporate into your life to harness the energy of March and align with your highest potential arcs. Stay tuned for the final part of our deep dive.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into the March 2025 air sign astrology and numerology forecast. It's been such a journey so far exploring these cosmic energies at play this month, and now I'm really excited to talk about putting all of this astro wisdom into action. Let's give our listeners a cosmic toolkit for navigating the month ahead.
I love that, a cosmic toolkit. And, it really is a toolkit that's available to everybody, not just air signs. We've talked about the challenges and opportunities of this cosmically charged month, and now it's time to get practical. Let's dive into some specific rituals and practices that you can incorporate into your life to harness the energy of March and align with your highest potential.
Yes, I love it. I'm all about that practical magic. So where should we begin?
Well, with Mercury retrograde still in full swing until March 28th, one of the most beneficial practices is journaling. Take some time each day to reflect on your thoughts, your feelings, your experiences. This can really help you process any unresolved issues that might be surfacing and gain more clarity on your goals and intentions.
Journaling is like the OG therapy. I've always found that simply putting pen to paper can help me untangle my thoughts and emotions. Sometimes it's like having a conversation with yourself on paper, and sometimes those are the most insightful conversations.
Absolutely. It's such a powerful tool for self-discovery and a great way to track your progress during Mercury retrograde. Notice any recurring themes or patterns that emerge in your writing. Those could be clues from the universe about what needs your attention.
Yes, it's like those patterns are these little whispers from our subconscious guiding us towards greater self-awareness now.
Yeah.
Besides journaling, what are some other practices that can help us navigate this retrograde energy?
Another really helpful practice, especially for air signs who tend to live in their heads, is meditation. Even just a few minutes of stillness each day can help you calm your mind, reduce stress, and connect with your inner wisdom.
Oh, for sure. Especially with all of this intense planetary energy swirling around us, a little bit of Zen can go such a long way. I've been experimenting with different meditation techniques lately, and it's amazing how just a few minutes of deep breathing can shift my entire perspective.
Exactly. It's like hitting the reset button on your nervous system. And for those who are looking to harness that passionate energy of Venus in Aries, consider incorporating some fire element rituals into your life.
Oh, I love that fire element rituals. Tell us more.
Yeah, think about lighting candles, burning incense, or even spending time in nature connecting with the sun's energy. These rituals can help you tap into your inner fire, boost your confidence, and really ignite your passions.
It's like bringing that fiery, passionate energy into our physical space, which can be so powerful for setting intentions and manifesting our desires. For example, if a Libra is looking to attract more love into their life, they could light a pink candle, visualize their ideal partner, and even write down the qualities they're looking for in a relationship.
Exactly. And for those who want to work with the emotional intensity of Mars in Cancer, water element rituals can be incredibly soothing.
Ah, yes. The healing power of water. It's like a cosmic reset button, washing away stress and negativity.
Yeah.
What are some examples of water element rituals?
You could take a relaxing bath with Epsom salts and essential oils, listen to calming music, or spend time near a body of water like a lake, the ocean, even just a fountain. These rituals can really help you connect with your emotions, release any pent-up energy, and find a sense of peace and tranquility.
So it's all about finding rituals and practices that resonate with our individual needs and the specific energies that we're working with. I love how this toolkit is both personalized and adaptable.
Exactly. And speaking of potent cosmic moments, let's not forget about the new moon in Aries on March 29th. This is a really powerful time to set intentions and plant seeds for the future. Write down your goals, visualize them coming to fruition, and take inspired action toward making them a reality.
So it's like a cosmic manifestation party under the new moon. What are some tips for setting intentions that are both inspiring and achievable?
That's a great question first.
Right.
You want to make sure that your intentions are aligned with your deepest values and desires. Don't set goals based on what you think you should do, but rather what truly lights you up.
Such an important point. It's about following our own inner compass, not somebody else's idea of what success should look like.
Exactly. And when you're setting your intentions, be really specific. Instead of saying, I want to be healthier, say, I will commit to exercising 3 times a week and eating more vegetables.
Okay. Clear, actionable steps, not just vague aspirations.
Precisely. And finally, infuse your intentions with positive energy. Believe in yourself, trust the process, and don't be afraid to ask the universe for support.
I love that it's like giving those intentions wings to fly now before we wrap up. Is there anything else our listeners should keep in mind as they navigate the energy of March?
Just remember that astrology and numerology are tools for self-awareness and growth. They offer insights and guidance, but ultimately, you have the power to create your own reality. Use these tools to empower yourself, not to limit yourself.
Beautifully said. It's not about letting the stars dictate our lives, but using their wisdom to illuminate our path and guide our choices.
Exactly. And remember to be kind to yourself throughout this whole process. March is a month of intense energy, so prioritize self-care. Listen to your intuition and trust that you're exactly where you need to be.
Such wonderful advice. All right, listeners, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the March 2025 air sign astrology and numerology forecast. We've covered so much ground, from planetary transits to practical rituals, and I hope you've gained some valuable insights and inspiration along the way.
It's been such a pleasure exploring this cosmic landscape with you, and remember, this is just the beginning. There's a whole universe of wisdom waiting to be discovered.
So true. And whether you're a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or any other sign, the stars are always there to guide us, illuminate our path, and remind us of our infinite potential. So keep looking up, stay curious, and embrace the magic of the cosmos. Until next time, happy exploring.